Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Happy Martian Dragon Hammercast. We are joined this week by myself, Drake Spirit, and my good friend Cooperation.
Yeah, hi everyone. We're here at the Fantasy Flight Game Center. We're watching the sealed event from late April 2019, where Andy, Hammer, a freaking commentator, is taking his deck through 4 rounds of sealed competition. First round up against Patrick, an intern here at Fantasy Flight Games. Strong player.
Yeah, he's a fun guy to play against. He's a little goofy, but then again, we all are, so nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. We see that he's marked his territory here, coming into our streaming setup, and he's dropped his playmat right over on top of it.
Is that's a Netrunner playmat? Wow.
Yeah, what a power move. Say no, I'll be on your stream, but I'm gonna rep.
I'm gonna rep the game I want to rep. Still Fantasy Flight, but just so you know.
And Patrick showing off exactly how bad his opening hand is before the mulligan. Says, well, I got a bunch of Bravnar and a battle fleet. Looks like he's really hoping to have that battle fleet alongside a bunch of Mars. Thinking, Patrick, why don't you just play all that Bravnar? Roll the dice that way with the battle fleet already in your hand, but he'll take 6 fresh ones.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially on the first turn. I mean, you have the opportunity to really go digging for what you want. No sense in not taking it.
Yep. So I'll cut him again. Patrick, of course, playing second here. So he could have dumped all that Bravnar he was holding. But here he is, with a fistful of Bravnar once again, and packing the Gauntlet of Command.
And only one singular Mars card again.
Once again. Yeah, that Tunk. That sad Tunk.
But that's, as far as a Brobnar hand goes, that's it's about as good as it gets.
Yep.
Dropping the
And
sound
leading
of
with
horns.
the sound of the horns, he's going to go right into a smash.
Just top decks it like a boss.
And he's going to shut down that Tabris hard. Tabris, of course, one of my favorite cards, but with what Andy's looking down here, she's not looking to get a whole lot done this time.
Yeah, unfortunately.
A Crump and a Valder, and just beef on the table for Patrick. We got a 6-power creature, a 5-power creature, and another 6-power creature. Not something that you want to fight into, and with that gauntlet, incentive to call Bravnar over and over and over.
Yeah, this is this is definitely not a position that Andy wants to be in. I mean, he's looking at a Valder, which is a great flank assassin. You know, it gets to deal that +2 damage to any creature on a flank. Crump is just going to sit there and melt Ember all day long. And Smash is just always fun to see because it, well, stuns anything when it comes into play.
Yep. And Andy got a little bit of follow-up here within Sanctum. Glorious Few to generate a couple. 2 extra Amber, capturing the 1 off of that rating night. But like you said, not interacting with the Bravnar at all because of that stun. A trade coming down with the Valder and the Tabris.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you would want to do with that. Take that extra 2 damage, just knock out the armor right away, and just say straight up, "Yep, I'm fine with this trade."
Yeah, and a Blood Money to put 2 on that rating night before it gets killed. He'll melt the 1 off of Andy. He'll get those quick 3 for himself. He'll be able to reap now once and again because of that Gauntlet of Command. He's going to gain a cool 5 Amber on this turn, moving from 0 to 5. And it looks more Brad in his hand there. Will he be able to get to 6?
I don't know. I saw he had a couple of Brobnar cards in his hand, but I know one of them was Blood Money, and I think there's another one. There it is, autocannon.
And there's the autocannon. Once that gauntlet triggers, that'll allow him to move into check.
Yep, that'll get him up to where he needs to be.
It's going to make a difference.
And Patrick just chucking his shit around here. Making a mess of the place. This is round one.
Andy going shadows. Looks like he doesn't really have much of a choice. Stealing
Yeah.
one, but that autocannon immediately killing that urchin.
And reaching right over and grabbing the amber off of Patrick. I couldn't figure out what was going on. They're sharing Andy's tokens here.
Yes, that is exactly what's happening.
Ready up. That urchin, of course, dying immediately to the autocannon. But that Naughty posing an interesting question now for Patrick. Will he stay in Bravnar in order to kill that thing? And of course, once he does, that Umbra's still on the table with Skirmish. He
Yeah,
doesn't have the tools on board to kill both.
I believe he does actually. He can take Crump into Umbra. Umbra does not have elusive, and then he can smash into Naughty and then do it again with that gauntlet.
Sure, I think you have to change up the ordering a little bit. Capitalize on the elusive off of Naughty because Crump will die in this process either way with the 4 damage that he has on him.
Yeah.
But he will. He'll go ahead and do it, and then he'll just double smash.
Oh, interesting choice. Oh,
He's discarding the Coward's End. Yep.
That makes a lot more sense.
And answering the board, not generating any additional amber on this turn. And Andy has to feel good about that. Throwing out 2 low power creatures, he was able to take off one of the higher power creatures, and a real threat from Patrick. Generate a couple of amber, keep him off a check, and now he gets a free turn, not having to counter what's on the board, or really having to counter the amber that Patrick's generated. Andy can simply develop the board if that's what he'd like to do.
Absolutely.
So,
This was
really buying himself space.
Yeah, this was a great move for Andy. Really disrupted Patrick's tempo.
And a Dew Fairy and a Witch of the Eye coming right back with 2 more dangerous creatures.
Great place for.
And will he use the Vigor on the smash here? He will not. He'll heal the fairy. And I think a smart choice. Easy to get greedy there to heal the extra damage off of the smash.
But that wouldn't get him the extra ember. Now, if Smash had 3, I would potentially look at doing that. But
it only has 2 on there. Sure enough.
Yeah.
And playing Nature's Call for nothing. Choosing not to bounce, not wanting to be stunned by that smash.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice by Andy. I think I may have held on to that Nature's Call for just 1 round to see if I could have gotten anything off of it. Especially seeing that my opponent had Mars. You know, as soon as Mars establishes a presence on the board, that's definitely not something you ever want to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, Nature's Call, certainly utility in what it can do for you, bouncing your own creatures, but really some of the premier removal in the game, and certainly in Andy's deck and within House Untamed. But not punished for it, not yet, anyway. As we'll see Patrick go into Mars, throwing down that battle fleet, revealing 3. Will he be able to remove this witch? Because if he doesn't, that Mars is getting bounced.
I don't think he can get rid of that witch. I think that's Mothership Support.
And there's the Mothership Support, and that'll be the end of the witch.
Mothership Support, I believe.
Only ready creatures, right you are. Yeah. And Patrick violating one of the cardinal rules of Call of the Archons. Kill the witch.
He did not kill the witch, and now he will suffer for it. Maybe.
We'll see if Andy can take advantage of having this witch on the table. And with the opportunity to reap with a Dew Fairy, as well as return that Nature's Call and balance Patrick's creatures, really, he would have to have an outrageous hand that we can't see. And he'll make the correct read here. Reaping 2 from the Dew Fairy.
Yep, grabbing Nature's Call, playing it, generating another Ember, sending the Zookeeper, the Plague Master, and the Grabber Jammer back to hand. Solid play by Andy, putting him
A heads up
now
call,
in,
keeping
yeah,
that Zookeeper off the table. Don't let that guy reap.
yep, Zookeepers are just about as bad as witches.
Yeah.
Patrick getting his first key.
And Andy's sitting on check himself, so conceding the first key.
Trading a Tunk for a, not even trading, just flat out killing the witch.
And it will be fully healed.
Yep.
And all the same stuff coming down, and this time bringing Zizix the Many with it as well. And with that gauntlet on the board, an opportunity to really go to work with that Zizix. Not needing to stay in Mars in order to let that thing grow.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, we are seeing that autocannon start to work against Patrick, as every time he brings out a small, squishy Mars creature, it immediately takes 1 damage. Popping the Zookeeper immediately with his Seeker Needle, letting himself get another Ember off it.
And we hear Andy saying he can't stay around. He knows that that thing must be removed. And the Dodger, one of the larger creatures.
It is the
And he plays a Smiling Root that is destroyed by the autocannon, moving straight to the discard pile.
Yep, Dodger, of course, being the biggest creature that Shadows has that can actually deal damage.
And lights out more removal from Andy.
This is an interesting play. Where is he going to go? Zizix for 1, and
the Grabber Jammer as well, it looks like.
Good call.
Conceding the Tunk. Knowing that that Plague Master is just a 3-power creature with 2 damage on it. He's not packing too many humans at the moment. He does, of course, have some Sanctum in his deck. We might see some humans hit the board, in which case that Plague Master will be something that he needs to deal with. But in the meantime, not too frightening.
Yeah, and we do see he has a couple of Sanctum cards in hand. Looks like he has at least 1 Knight and a Harder They Come. In addition to what
Harder They Come, a great response to that Tunk, which we know will be healed, or to one of 2 more Crumps. These are the second and third Crumps that we've seen now out of Patrick.
Patrick playing a War Song. Smashing into, looks like Dew Fairy. Looks like he's going to crump the Dew Fairy, melting one of Andy's Amber, gaining another one for himself.
And I love the way that he's putting the Amber gained from the War Song on the War Song before moving it to the discard pile. A great way for him to keep track of what did I get out of playing this card, War Song, a card that can be difficult to get that value out of.
Yeah, absolutely. He had the potential to get 4 Ember out of it. He opted to take 2. I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. 2 realized Amber versus 4 potential. I'll take the 2 every day of the week.
Absolutely.
Lady Maxina coming down, stunning the Plague Master.
Yep, Maxina, I believe, a human. Staunch Knight, certainly a human. The Shield of Justice, just playing it for the Amber here.
Harder They Come, getting rid of a Crump.
Purging 1 Crump, knowing there's 1 in the discard pile, 1 on the board. And bouncing the Gauntlet rather than the autocannon, an interesting choice.
I think that was probably the smart choice. He's taking away the utility, as well as not allowing him to generate an extra Ember off of autocannon when it's played again. And as we've seen out of Andy so far, any small thing that he plays probably is going to have elusive. Any large thing he plays is either going to be big enough to take the hit, or it's got armor that it can just absorb the hit and not have to worry about it.
Certainly. Yeah. And leaving that autocannon up so that it'll damage Patrick's guys coming into his next turn, which it's just done. We see booked in Mother and Titan Mechanic. He's insulated that Titan Mechanic, putting it 2 spots off the flank, looking to just develop something with a little bit of power, not trying to take advantage of that effect, decreasing cost of keys while sitting on a flank.
Yeah, Titan Mechanic is a great card, but it is extremely situational. I don't think I'd probably look for one until I have the key cheat in hand and I'm looking to use it.
Yeah, a fun one to play with, certainly.
Andy going Shadows, running that Dodger into the Plague Master.
Yeah, and now with those armored up humans on the board, a good time to get that Plague Master off the board, even though it's stunned. Nerve Blasting onto the Mother. Does he have a way to finish it off? That's 3 damage at this point onto the Mother, 2 from the Nerve Blast. And there's the Poison Wave. And is he setting himself up to take advantage of that Seeker Needle?
Maybe that Poison Wave only does 2 damage. There we go. I was going to say it's a misplay by Patrick, but that is going to kill the Smash. And I do believe you are correct. It looks like Andy did have that play in mind. Looks like he's going to use that Seeker Needle to take care of the Crump.
I'm seeing 4 damage on that Crump. Maybe I'm misreading it. You got it. 5 damage on him. Wasn't finding that little token.
That Smash should actually be dead.
Poison Wave for 2 damage. 2 damage previously on the Smash.
Yes.
Maybe he's got 1 left. Another juicy Seeker Needle target. And a great turn for Andy. Yeah. Not clearing the board, but taking 3 threats off of it with the Titan Mechanic, the Doc booked in, and the Crump.
In addition, he brought himself up to 7 Ember, really putting the pressure on Patrick, forcing him to respond, saying, you know what, let's see what you got. I know the Grabber Jammer is there, but I don't think that it is going to be enough to keep him off a key.
And it won't be. He will charge him the additional 1 Amber from that Grabber Jammer.
I am surprised that he let that Zookeeper back out on the board, especially seeing as how he already knows that Andy has the Seeker Needle on the table, has already killed one of his Zookeepers with that. So let's see if he has any tricks up his sleeve that are going to let that Zookeeper stick around.
Certainly. And a choice that I don't hate. Worst case scenario, you lose your Zookeeper. You're probably going to lose it anyway. Right? And you give up 1 Amber in the process. If you do, you're forcing your opponent back onto the house that they just played on the last turn. Forcing them to play the same house twice in a row when they don't have any of those creatures on the table. Never a terrible choice, because it's unlikely that they're going to have multiple cards from that house in their hand.
Oh, Andy getting a Life Web to actually go off.
Yeah, gaining the 1, stealing 2. And with Lost in the Woods, he will once again bounce that Grabber Jammer. That Grabber Jammer has spent a lot of time being played and returned. Not killed yet. And then the second Lost in the Woods to remove 2 more Mars creatures. An interesting choice not to bounce the Mother here. Opting instead to bounce the Zizix.
That's Titan Mechanic, and this was a brilliant play by Andy. He is at 6 Ambers, saying,
he's put it on the...
I'm on check again, and thank you very much.
At the very end, that Flaxia for nothing. A 4 power creature coming in. We hear Andy saying, we're watching that autocannon. One of the most difficult things are static effects that persist throughout the game. It's easy to forget to put the damage from an autocannon. It's easy to forget to draw 1 fewer card off of a Succubus. These two doing a great job working together to make sure that they continue to play by the rules, for lack of a better way to say it.
Absolutely, and I know for a fact that there have been a couple of games, I think even one or two on stream, where there was an autocannon on the board, and me and my opponent were just sitting there going back and forth, trying to figure out what was going on. And that looks like Patrick conceding the game, saying, I don't have any answers. Well played.
Yeah, and Andy able to take control of that board with strong turn after strong turn. Not able to clear the board, but forcing Patrick constantly to be setting up for his turns, while Andy was able to generate amber through his removal and steal effects. So, an excellent example of playing from behind, being able to move into a powerful position, constantly keeping pressure on his opponent despite having fewer creatures on the table. That's going to be the first win for Andy. We'll watch him through 3 more rounds as we see how this sealed event shakes out for him. We'll be right back with round 2.